मैंने बोला बनाने को, सबसे फॉलो करे जा रहे हैं। हाँ जरा बीच में मैं कहा भाई सीढ़ी कट गया ना, थोड़ा एसी कम हो सकता है, घर तो ठीक है। पूछोगे तो मिलेगा ना।
He's already there, right?
अच्छी बात है ना धुआं निकलने के।
ठीक है, चलो, good to go. We'll start. This is very helpful. Phones on silent.
Lights, camera, action! Sunil Chhetri. King Kohli reigns supreme in a run chase. And I reply like, what you expected for things to stay the same? Third lane, fifth gear. One of the classic goals of the Hero Indian Super League. Virat Kohli goes to 200 for the 5th time in his career.
So members of the Blue Brigade and members of the Blue Pilgrims, get excited, get ready, because you've been wanting to see them get together. Two Delhi boys, put your hands together for Virat Kohli and Sunil Chhetri. First and foremost, bit of a bonding, two Delhi boys, young, leading to fantastic sports. And you know, with all these fans, it's such a good time where you can connect with your fans on social media. Did you connect instantly when you guys met or spoke?
I think the first time we met was long back when we were playing that celebrity football game. And then whenever on and off we could meet. But then I think later last 2 years is when we started keeping in touch, talking, discussing and chatting, stuff like that. So I think last 2 years has been, our relationship is quite fresh. It's been 2 years now. We're going strong.
Recently married, another fresh relationship, both of you.
I mean, we could speak sense immediately. You know, I mean, we joke around a lot as well, most of the time. But when we speak sense, we can speak sense, like proper sense, and the conversation is very productive, which is the best thing I like about knowing Skip. I call him Skip all the time, and I was gonna say that his experience compared to me is more in every regard. Even right now, the amount he's played since when he's been playing, and even being on TV, as an expert, and the way he spoke, because I see those football shows, and the way he speaks, he's quite experienced now in this field as well.
But what do you call him? He calls you Skip. What do you call him?
Champ.
Champ. So I've got Skip, I've got Champ. But for a reason, they're skippers and they're champions, of course. Captaincy, was that also a bit of an instant connect? Because you're talking about two sports which got massive following. So being the captain, Sunil, let me start with you. While everyone says it's a big responsibility, what does it mean to you?
Well, it's a privilege. It's something that I've never thought about as a pressure. It's something that is so beautiful. Of course, you win games, you lose games, you get abused, all the stuff. You're the one who takes all the bullets. But then there's nothing else that I would want. Playing for the country was so beautiful. I'm really honored and I don't take it for granted. I work as hard as possible and give back to football as much as I can. Playing for the country or the club. But it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
I think the most beautiful thing about being a captain is that immediately the focus from your own game gets lifted. And that's the basic foundation of playing a team sport. So I think it elevates you to a level where you stop thinking about your own game. At the same time, you know that you have to lead from the front. But it's a zone where every sports person, man or woman, they want to be in that zone where they're not worried about failure or success, but just about their attitude and what they bring to the field whenever they play, because they need to set an example. And I think if everyone can start thinking like that, then you become a world-class side. Then you have team of 11 leaders who are of that mindset. So the key is to remain true to yourself, because people change very quickly. But if you don't change as a captain or a leader,
Yeah.
I think that's the essence of being in this position.
Star Sports, I think, record this. This is the most
Full
beautiful.
recorded, HD
this
quality
is the
zoomed in.
most beautiful discussion I've heard about captaincy. Seriously, that's right on the nail.
What has changed जब आप player थे से जब आप captain बने? So what is being that captain taught Sunil Chhetri, who is the player, who is anyways in many ways the go-to man?
First of all, is to be a good example, and more so with your actions. You know, in my sports, because everyone is so emotionally attached. If you speak too much, it goes wrong. If you don't speak at all, then you fall short when it's needed. So the right balance. So it comes naturally when you're doing the right things. Small examples like coming on the right time, being a good professional on the pitch, not putting your head down when things go wrong. All these small things, when done right, you become a better example.
दो इतने बड़े कप्तान साथ में बैठ रहे हैं. So you know, for the fans, there are a lot of factors I want to talk about. I'll talk like a fan as well. हम बाउंड्री के इस पार होते हैं जब नेशनल एंथम बजता है. You're looking at probably the tricolor. That's जो लहरा रहा है. क्या बात कर रहे होते हैं कि आपके भी रोंगटे खड़े हो रहे होते हैं, मैच का सोच रहे होते हैं आप, उस टाइम वो इमोशनल फीलिंग आती है और वो ग्रेविटी समझ आती है.
Some tournaments have that feel to them. वो environment create हो ही जाता है, वो माहौल बन जाता है जब fans भी उसी तरीके से engaged होते हैं. Players are more motivated. They're pushing extra than they would otherwise, and it just happens naturally because तो सबका बेस्ट निकल के उन्हीं टाइम्स में आता है जहाँ पे कंपटीशन बहुत ही टफ होता है. तो उन मैचेस में लाइक वर्ल्ड कप क्वार्टर फाइनल और सेमीफाइनल, वहाँ पे जब आप नेशनल एंथम गाते हैं ना सिर्फ सुनते हैं, और फिर जब 50,000 लोग आपके साथ गाते हैं, तो वो जो फीलिंग उस टाइम पे आती है, वो दैट इज़ प्योर मोटिवेशन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट लेवल. क्योंकि वहाँ पे आपको लगता है कि I might even, give my life on the field today. It's that kind of a feeling that there is no room for complacency at all, because you understand what you are representing at that stage. और उसमें, a lot of people have had special performances because after a limit, this pushes you. Your body gives up. You don't really know what you're doing. But if you have the willpower, then that emotional. I'm big on, being emotional on the field from inside out. I mean, I probably show it more also than anyone else, but I think every successful sportsman or woman, they have an emotional factor that drives them. You cannot be practical on the field all the time. It does not work like that. Anyone who says I'm practical all the time is lying, because that emotion of a situation where you're trailing 2-0 and you got 5 minutes to go with extra time. Can you make it 3-2? You have to dream big at that stage. Yes, in 8 minutes time we can score 3 goals, and special things have happened. Why? Because some individuals thought about it. If you don't think about it, then it will never happen. So I'm big on, dreaming about situations where I'm taking the team out of trouble, or it's a situations the odds are stacked against you at all times, and you are the guy who believes when no one in the stadium believes, and you end up doing it, and then they're like, wow, what was that? Because it all starts from here, and that emotion is very, very important.
Do you do it before a game also? Thinking that I'm going to... I do it all the time.
Yep.
I do it all the time, me being the hero. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That things are going wrong. I start dreaming.
Visualize?
Yes. And I'll do it. And God has been kind. More than often you end up being in that situation. And you might fail, you might succeed, but then you've thought about it, and here's my moment.
Yeah.
Is it true when you were not the cricketer, जब पहले होते थे विराट कोहली जो खेल रहा है, बचपन में क्रिकेट खेल रहा है, उस टाइम पे जो मैचेस आते थे, वो कोई मैचेस जहां टीम नहीं जीत पाई, क्या तब से प्रेपरेशन विराट शुरू हुई थी? तब से आप सोचते थे कि अगर मैं सिचुएशन में होता तो मैं क्या करता?
मेरे को मतलब इतना स्ट्रांगली फील होता था ये कि मैं मैचेस देख के सोता था जहाँ पे टीम कोई टारगेट चेज नहीं, स्पेशली इन चेजेस.
किस एज के आसपास की हम ये बात कर रहे हैं?
8 or 9.
When you were 8 or 9?
Yeah, I mean, but वो आपका एक सपना होता है. You dream as a child that you want to do this one day. But I used to go to, especially in a chase, I used to go to sleep convinced कि अगर मैं खेल रहा होता तो मैं जिता देता. That feeling of कि यार अगर काश मैं होता, चार विकेट के बाद अगर मैं होता तो मैं जिता देता, पक्का जिता देता मैं. So I don't know whether it's natural कि क्या है वो सिचुएशन में जब मैं कभी होता हूँ अब, I am so convinced here that my body starts following that. You can't convince from bottom to top. You have to convince yourself here first, and then the body follows. तो वो कनेक्शन बाद में समझ आता है. Then I think about यार मैंने बचपन में इतना strongly सोचा था, आज ये reality है. तो that thought never goes away. It's a seed that you've sown, and then the rewards you see after 15 years, and then you feel like wow, I can connect to 9 years old when I thought about this.
Has
so
there ever
strong.
been a bit of a deja vu moment?
Yeah, all the
For
time.
sure. Yeah.
And it doesn't guarantee success. It doesn't mean that every time you're going to be in that situation, you're going to bail the team out.
Yeah.
But it means you have already thought about it.
Yeah.
You want to be in that situation. So it gives you a good feeling. You don't succumb.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, you know you have thought about it, and with the experience you have been there, so you're prepared and you know what to do. It's not कि मैंने सोचा है हीरो बनूंगा जाऊंगा every time मैं हैट्रिक मार रहा हूँ गोल मार रहा हूँ, ये होता नहीं है.
Yeah.
You fail, you lose, but then you know that you want to be in that situation. You really want to. That's the kind of situation you want to be in.
This is beautiful, right? इसमें थोड़ा ये होता है यार, दिल्ली वाले जो है ना खास करके देख रहे होंगे, वो सिचुएशन कोई ऐसी लाइफ में आज तक आई नहीं जो दिल्ली वाले ने बोला ये ना हो पाएगा. वो होता है बहुत, वो करके दिखाते हैं. But and I'm hoping that a bit of that visualization has already happened for the year that's in front of you, because the excitement is so much, because both of them right now in the upcoming months, the AFC Asian Cup is coming, World Cup आ रहा है इंग्लैंड में, वो भी जरूर मेरे को पता है आपने सपना देखा होगा. कन्विंस उस पर बाद में आएंगे. आपके लिए ये जो tournament है, fans are probably asking, we've qualified for it this time, it's not by default. क्या expectations हैं?
I'm excited also. This is a tournament that I believe that we have to participate every time, because this will be a testimony that we are doing well. It was very sad that we couldn't qualify in 2015. We did well in 2011. For us to rub shoulders against the best, we need to keep playing this tournament. Otherwise, कैसे पता चलेगा कि हम Australia, Japan, South Korea, Iran, Saudi Arabia से कितनी दूर हैं? Now these 5 teams play the World Cup. They are the benchmark of Asian teams playing the World Cup. Unless we keep playing them every now and then, how will we know how far are we? And we will not play against them unless we play big tournaments.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, if you want to pick up the phone and say, you know what, Australia, let's have a friendly game, they won't agree. But now, because of we qualifying, I think China is confirmed. And then I think Australia is coming up. Jordan wants to play. It will only happen when you start raising your bar. And if you don't, and if you keep playing in your own region and not improve, they will never want to destroy their friendly date. Why would a big team want to play against you and not use their friendly date? So for us, it's very, very important, paramount to keep playing big tournaments. I'm really happy and excited as any fan would be to play this tournament. Just want to make sure that everyone is fit, go there and give your best.
Can't wait for it, because जो सफर रहा है ना, मतलब 173 की ranking से Feb 2016 में अब 96, chasing the best ever ranking which is 94, which is not too far away, just makes you feel so good. लेकिन coming to cricket, क्योंकि एक हल्का सा था, नजरें मतलब वर्ल्ड कप पे शायद चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी के टाइम से ही थी विराट, मतलब जो एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं टीम इंडिया से, बिफोर ऑफ कोर्स द वर्ल्ड कप कम्स 4 years later होम, ये जो इंग्लैंड में है एक्सपेक्टेशंस फ्रॉम द टीम अगेन गोइंग एज फेवरेट्स, डज दैट आल्सो ऐड अ लॉट ऑफ pressure and all of that?
I think more or less the process started during Champions Trophy or just after Champions Trophy of figuring out कि World Cup तक क्या करना है. As any team would do, you want your best side, you want your most settled side, and guys who are sure of their own abilities, because we had a lot of new guys coming in, but some guys have taken to it beautifully, and there's always 1 or 2 places in a team where you're always wondering कि कौन ऐसा आदमी है, as Skip mentioned about characters, that you look at a guy and you're like, okay, given a situation, I don't need to speak to him. He knows what he's doing. And you need characters like that, which in the ODI team we have so many already. But if you have 7, 8 like that, and then the youngsters can just enjoy, that's when you become a champion side, and that's when you win big tournaments. So I'm pretty optimistic as always. I mean, you have to be optimistic about your own team. But in general, when I look at it from the outside as well, our team is very, very strong, and it's just about how mentally you turn up on the day. The skill level is there for sure. Mentally, if we can be in a zone as a team where we don't care about anything, from the first minute of the World Cup till the last second, we need to understand that all that matters is the change room, not social media, not what people are saying, not praise after a performance, not criticism after a loss. The emotion, what I mentioned, has to be free flowing throughout the big tournaments. Otherwise, you got no prize, honestly.
Virat, tell me one thing. If there's a player that you think is doing well, and you think he's going to come to the national team someday, and suddenly if you see him not doing well, are you somebody who will call him or text him and say, what's wrong and why are you pulling yourself? Or do you just restrain and say, only when he comes to the national team I'll think about it?
I mean, I have had instances where we have kept an eye. Usually what happens in cricket is you have a good season where you score a lot of runs, and then you're seen as potentially someone who can play if there's a vacancy. So what I have done in the past is, when a guy comes to the team, I make sure that in their process of playing, between breaks and all that stuff, I don't want to wait for them to get out and then sit with me later on and ask questions कि क्या कर सकते थे and क्या करना चाहिए था. It's rather when they're not out, when they are playing, is to give them a vision of how to get from 40 to 60, from 60 to 80, from 80 to 100. So if they end up achieving it, they'll learn very quickly. I don't like to wait till after they have a failure and then speak to them. In the process is the best time because they are looking for that, you know. You start playing game, you get to 30 and you're like, okay, I made my debut, I got to 30, what now? So you have to strike then, and then you open those mindsets. But yeah, I've spoken to a few guys who have gone off the boil, understand why that's happened and in what way you can help them, because you know the ultimate thing is Indian cricket and what Indian cricket requires. And if you think that you can lose out on an asset, you don't want to let go of him. You rather give him a vision and give him some more time.
Diving now, huh? Seeing as well? माँ में आ रहा हूँ आपकी टीम में.
माँ में आ रहा हूँ. मैं फ्लोरिंग पकड़ता हूँ. ऋषभ was going at me, चलो चलो प्रेशर में है, और मैं देख के उसको हंस रहा हूँ पीछे. तो I said तू क्या कर रहा है? तो मैंने कहा कोई नहीं, कभी तो आएगा जिस रूम में साथ में.
Have you seen him dancing?
No, my wife dances better than me.
Great man, I'm 5'7", I'm 33. अच्छा, हंसना पर हंसना.
इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स ओनर अपना दूसरा सीजन लेके वापस आ रहा है और जानने के लिए देखते रहिए स्टार स्पोर्ट्स.
Hi, this is Rupinder Pal Singh. Here is wishing Virat all the best for the second season of Indian Sports Honor.
Catch all the action from the Indian Sports Honor only on Star Sports. Can't wait.
इंडिया जैसी कंट्री में और बहुत कंट्रीज हैं, एवरीवन ऑलमोस्ट कमिंग फ्रॉम सिटीज है, जो भी यहाँ पे इतनी डाइवर्सिटी है, अलग अलग पर्सनालिटीज होती हैं. हाउ डू यू ब्रिंग ऑल ऑफ देम टुगेदर?
In ISL, because it's a body contact game, we tend to go overboard. There are fights, there are elbows, we abuse each other. There's an example of there's a player called Ganesh Dhanpal who plays for Chennai and is doing really well. And I believe he's going to be very important for our national team also. He's already a part of the national camp. So we had a game against Chennai and we lost the ISL finals. It was fierce, feisty. That's the nicer words I can use. Things we say to each other, elbows and everything. So it was bad. And after the thing was over, I had to text him because I want him to do well in the national team. So the guy who I wanted to kill that day, after 3-4 days being the captain, I want him nice and I want him to continue what he was doing. So I was writing a message to him that, boy, you did really well. And please continue it, do the right things, and whenever you come to the national camp, make sure you're ready. It was so difficult because this is the guy who I really wanted to kill on the pitch. You know what I mean? That's why I asked him a question. Because then it happens all the time. JJ, for instance. I love when he scores and does his trademark, whatever. But I hate him when he does against us. You know what I mean? So it's very strange. So all the boys at the end of the day, when you cool down after the game, you want them to do well. You want them to do well because at the end of the day, the national team is a priority. And all of them are doing really well. I just hope the same fire that they show against us playing against Bangalore, they come back and they show the same thing for the national team.
It confirms one thing, that these leagues are successful. They're getting to the level you want them to, because he probably goes through the same thing that IPL chal raha hota hai.
See, I was going to come to that point, that after the South African tour, because we finished with T20s and I saw a lot of these guys who are obviously playing the IPL. So I had to literally call everyone together and tell them that, look, we are a young side that's going through a transition because the younger guys coming in regularly. It's still time till we become household names, all of us together.
Not you.
Sure.
Not you.
I'm saying all of us together.
good one.
So, good one.
Thanks, Sunil.
So I explained to them that can only happen when Indian cricket remains paramount. So I literally had to talk about, I don't want anyone. I mentioned my name as well. You should want to hit me on the head, but don't have an argument with your teammate during the IPL. Because we play together for 10 months. That's only 2 months. Don't get carried away by the wrong thing. Maintain respect for your teammate. I'm not saying give them freebies or, be nice to them. You should want to get them out like any other opponent. But if you see that there's a potential for an argument, one of the guys has to back off. Because otherwise we're compromising on Indian culture.
Yeah.
What we've created in the team. And that's how you strengthen the bond, which they understand that everyone's working towards one goal. It's very important to have these conversations. If you let go of these things and tension creeps in during leagues where you're playing against each other, then that can carry on. And I, as a captain, don't want two guys who are not wanting to look at each other and they have to bat together or bowl in partnerships or whatever. So those are the conversations you need to have regularly.
And you have encourage healthy ones. There was actually one great instance. This young wicket-keeper batsman Rishabh Pant. Virat Kohli is batting, किसी से out नहीं हो रहा Virat Kohli, and Rishabh Pant is the only one chirping stumps के पीछे से.
Like what?
To his potential future cap. What was he saying?
This was 2017.
Or he's saying something to brush your mind off or whatever.
This was 2017, so we were 7th and Delhi was 8th. और last game खेल रहे थे हम लोग अपना दोनों. तो ऋषभ was going at me, चलो चलो प्रेशर में है और मैं देख के उसको हंस रहा हूँ पीछे. So I said तू क्या कर रहा है? तो हाँ. तो वो मेरे को बोल रहा है भैया मैं तो बोलना तो पड़ेगा ही, आउट कैसे करेंगे वरना. मैंने कहा बॉलिंग तो वो कर रहे हैं, उनको भी तो बिलीव होना चाहिए कि आउट कर सकते हैं. तो बोल रहा है बात तो सही है लेकिन मैं तो करूँगा. तो मैंने कहा कोई नहीं कभी तो आएगा चेंज रूम में साथ में. फिर कहाँ भागेगा. कह रहा है यार आप तो ऐसे बोल रहे हो. तो I mean it's fun. I mean I like that they are competitive.
Yeah, do you like that you see a young Virat in them sometimes? वो तो है भी दोबारा दिल्ली से ही ऋषभ.
100%. I mean as much as you don't like it happening against you.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the guys who are playing with each other in the Indian team. The guys who potentially can tomorrow. I understand the concept of having respect. But respect to a stage where it doesn't compromise your own mindset.
True.
I think in our country, respect goes into dimensions that we start sort of hampering ourselves.
Time for Blue Rising. Pleased to be rising. Cricketers को हमने बहुत देखा है फुटबॉल के साथ. वार्म अप उसी से होता है. हम HD कैमरा पे दिखाते हैं अच्छे से. लेकिन हमने कभी यहाँ कैप्टन को देखा नहीं क्रिकेट के साथ. हालांकि था. You wanted to be a cricketer at one point. You told me, right?
Yeah. Then I went and batted. The ball came so fast, I let the dream go.
So we got a challenge. Virat, obviously, he's got a few tricks up his alley, जो देखेंगे football के साथ, and we'll see Sunil Chhetri probably for the first time to show his prowess with cricket. But here we go. Who wants to go first?
That's fine.
I'll go first.
Chalo, theek hai.
All right. Ready?
Okay.
Sunil, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. One.
Oh, not bad. Skip.
4 catches away from featuring in the Indian slip cordon. Go.
Okay.
Hey, I'm going to national team. Huh?
धीरे-धीरे तेज हो रही. अभी 3 catch बचे.
2 done.
Go.
Not bad. Skip.
I'm diving now. Huh?
Technique as well? एकदम proper pouching है.
Yeah.
Go.
माँ मैं आ रहा हूँ national team में.
माँ मैं आ रहा हूँ.
Hey, don't cheat, huh? I know your face.
No.
Go.
Well done. Oh, well done. Skip.
Selection panel देख रहे हैं अगर ये show तो.
Now don't get shocked, huh? जो अजीब सा नाम आएगा team में.
I'm under pressure. I'm under pressure.
It's a difficult one to be very honest. 3, if he gets 3 chances, if he does 1, good. That's good.
Good to go?
Yes.
Oh, that's 1. Almost nearly. I think it's a little slippery
I
as
think
well.
you'll get it.
Yeah, that's fine.
ये फ्लोरिंग है बड़ी अच्छे बजट की है कभी-कभी ऐसे निकल जाती है. आप लोगों ने कुछ नहीं देखा है बीच में.
Second go, huh?
Yeah.
Almost. If you can do it in these shoes, I'm going away from the building. Oh,
Be careful.
मैं flooring पकड़ता हूँ. Oh yes.
When the country is playing, the whole nation should support you.
लोगों को सिर्फ मसालेदार क्रिकेट देखना है.
Have you seen him dancing? Please.
No, my wife dance better than me.
Great man. I'm 5'7", I'm 33.
Sunil, let's come now to that video which is right now at 1.1 million views और वो चलते ही जा रहा है on social media. That plea that you made, you know, for people to come out, it was a bit of an emotional plea. So it's थोड़ा spur of the moment reaction था या आपको लगा कि it is important you put it out? उसके पीछे की थोड़ी कहानी बताइए.
थोड़ा नहीं यार, पूरा spur of the moment था. नहीं क्या हुआ, उसके पहले दिन ना there was a game against Chinese Taipei and players like Udanta, Anirudh Thapa, the youngsters, they did really well. Or when I looked at the stands, it's 10,000 people at Mumbai. I looked at the stands, there were maybe 3,000 people, 2,000, 3,000 people. And that stadium is generally full when the ISL is happening. और आप केरला जाते हो, jam-packed, Chennai, jam-packed, Bangalore, jam-packed. And suddenly when India is playing, because generally when the clubs are playing, there are only a section of people who are supporting you. When the country is playing, the whole nation should support you.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit disappointed because the boys did really well. तो सुबह उठा, शायद ब्रेकफास्ट कुछ कम खाया होगा, कुछ किया होगा, ऐसी वीडियो बना दिया मैंने. Didn't check with my team because nowadays there's a team, डालना है, कॉमा सही नहीं है, फुल स्टॉप नहीं है, ये नहीं बोलना है, वो नहीं बोलना है. तो चेक किया नहीं, ऐसे ही डाल दिया. And then I messaged him later. You know, I'm thinking of something. Have a look. And he was kind enough, sweet enough to repost and talk about it. I just said have a look. मुझे क्या पता था, मैं ट्रेनिंग गया, वापस आके फोन गर्म हो गया. So many messages. The first thing I see was, what did you do from the team? I thought, man, क्या हो गया यार, इतने सारे messages, people I don't even know. But then yeah, at the end of the day, when you see the response, the main thing was people to come and watch, you know. And when you see the stadium packed and people talk about it, I thought it was worth it. I mean, so many people took it in a nice way. So many people said that you shouldn't, being a national captain, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have pleaded, stuff like that. Of course, everyone's thinking the way they want to think. I had no shame. I had no shame saying, please. I had no shame saying, this is what the reality is. And it's all right. I didn't take it too seriously, thank God. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put.
The good thing is, बाकी सबने seriously लिया उसे. So when you got that plea, when you saw it, what was your first reaction? क्या था?
See, firstly, I know him personally. So anyways, that has more of an impact on you because there's a friend, you know, telling you about something. So then I went and saw the video and I saw the emotion and the genuine, you know, hurt that was coming out in that video of, I know when you go and play in empty stadiums, and that happens quite a lot in test cricket in our country. लोगों को सिर्फ मसालेदार क्रिकेट देखना है. मतलब that's something that hurts you as a test cricket fan also. So I understood from that point of view what he meant in that video. That when you play and you are, he understands what the body goes through when you're running back and forth and you have to sprint in the end to protect an attack which could potentially, you know, give you 3 points or which could make your team lose. You have to go in and slide even if you're getting cramps, because that is the thing that is required, and you want the people of your nation to be supporting you when you are playing for your nation. So I decided to, you know, post it and put out my emotion about it as well, because I strongly feel for it, and that's one of my visions as well in future, to be able to have a, you know, sports society, sort of a sports university. मुझे हमेशा से ऐसा लगता है कि जब तक स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर नहीं होगा तो आपको दूसरे स्पोर्ट को देखने में हमेशा एक एफर्ट करना पड़ेगा. अगर स्पोर्ट्स कल्चर है, आपको सब स्पोर्ट्स समझ आ रहे हैं, सब स्पोर्ट पसंद है, तो आप कैलेंडर में मार्क करोगे, अच्छा फुटबॉल इस दिन है, क्रिकेट इस दिन है, बैडमिंटन इस दिन है, जो कि बाहर कंट्रीज में हो रहा है, क्योंकि लोगों को सीखना है, लोगों को समझना है। वो सिर्फ मसाला देखने नहीं आए, वो फुटबॉल गेम में आएंगे और उनको लगेगा कि हाँ 10 गोल इधर 10 गोल उधर, ऐसा नहीं होता है। आपको समझना है कि अटैक कौन सा बन रहा है, ये अटैक कितना ज़रूरी है, ये डिफेंस करना अभी कितना ज़रूरी है, ये फेज़ में क्या हमें करना है। तो मेरा वो अल्टीमेट विजन है कि यार मुझे ऐसे एनवायरनमेंट में खेलना है एक दिन कि जहाँ पे लोगों को एग्जैक्टली पता हो कि गेम, अगर कोई आदमी डिफेंस कर रहा है टेस्ट क्रिकेट में, तो 10-30 हज़ार लोगों को हर बॉल में ताली बजानी चाहिए, क्योंकि उसे समझ आना चाहिए कि ये टीम को बचाने के लिए खेल रहा है,
कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है।
अब वो उसी टाइम पे बोलेंगे अबे छक्का मार, अबे चौका मार, तो मतलब फिर यू आर नॉट ऑनेस्टली देयर, यू आर जस्ट देयर कि आपको मजा आ रहा है लोगों को देखने में। तो मुझे उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत लगा कि यार ये बहुत ज़रूरी चीज़ है कि सब लोग, इट हैज़ टू बी यूनिटी अगर इस चीज़ को बदलना है तो।
और अभी भी जो स्पोर्ट्स हैं, वन ऑफ द थिंग्स, लेट्स कम टू द विराट कोहली फाउंडेशन, वीकेएफ, क्योंकि इसमें भी क्रिकेट हो गया, फुटबॉल हो गया, कबड्डी है, बैडमिंटन है, इन सब की तो लीग्स हैं। बट ऑब्वियसली योर विजन गोज बियॉन्ड दिस, राइट? तेरा स्पोर्ट्स जो एकदम से 4 साल बाद हम उठते हैं, यार हमारे ओलंपिक्स में मेडल नहीं आ रहे, सबको साथ में बोलना है। उन 4 साल में एथलीट्स ने क्या किया, वो नाम भी किसी को नहीं पता, वो उस दिन सुबह अखबार पढ़ के आता है। सो व्हाट इज द अल्टीमेट, your vision with VKF and just some of the things that you're doing, the athletes that you adopted. So right now, what is happening with VKF?
See, the whole idea was जब हमने last year Indian Sports Honors भी किए थे, so we wanted to give all the athletes in the nation a feel of what it feels to be recognized at that level. It was an event which was different to your normal awards. It was an event that gave you a feel of this should be a date marked in the calendar for all sports people across the nation, that I will get to meet everyone across sports. It's a thing for sports people to come in as a community, celebrate someone else's success. We also need to understand and learn how to celebrate someone else's success. That is one key ingredient. काफ़ी लोग वो उसी सिस्टम में वहीं तक रह जाते हैं because they don't know how to celebrate someone else's success. So those were the things behind the awards. With the foundation, what we wanted to announce last year, which we did, was to announce athletes that we potentially think can do something special for the nation. Identify them and take care of the process. I mean, we are not guaranteeing medals, but we want to get them to a platform where they can compete and they feel they are ready. वो 4 साल के बाद कोई मेडल जीतता है तो सब लोग आ जाते हैं, ये लो ये रिवॉर्ड, ये लो वो रिवॉर्ड, उनके प्रोसेस के ऊपर कोई पैसा नहीं लगाता है। So that thing we spoke about, and then we thought it's a great start to be able to follow someone's progress, so they understand कि मुझे वहाँ तक पहुँचने के लिए क्या चीज़ों की ज़रूरत है, so that awareness is created कि in future ऐसा it should be a mandate कि अगर चाइना if they are pulling people at 6-7 and preparing them कि 16 में मेडल जीत के लाएंगे, तो वो हमारे यहाँ भी होना चाहिए। किसी के मेडल जीतने के बाद क्रेडिट लेना बहुत आसान है, लेकिन उनकी प्रोसेस में हेल्प करना इज द डिफिकल्ट पार्ट. सो वी वांटेड टू स्टार्ट दैट विद वीकेएफ.
इट्स अ ग्रेट वन. इट्स अ ग्रेट थिंग दैट ही सेड दैट नोबडी थिंक्स अबाउट द प्रोसेस. इट्स ईजियर टू सेलिब्रेट हीरोज.
तो इंडियन स्पोर्ट्स ऑनर्स महज एक अवार्ड शो नहीं है, ये एक तोहफा है हर एक स्पोर्ट्स फैन के लिए और हर एक उस खिलाड़ी के लिए जो जी जान लगाता है खेलने के लिए. ये तोहफा है संजीव गोयनका और विराट कोहली की तरफ से.
Sports, the greatest leveler. He's done it again! A trial by fire where only talent counts. A relentless pursuit of perfection that demands blood, sweat and tears. He has surrendered. Despite all the hard work, sometimes dreams do get shattered. But this is now a thing of the past. As captain fearless Virat Kohli and business magnate Sanjeev Goenka joined forces last year with the Indian Sports Honors. An initiative that not just honors Indian athletes across all sports for their outstanding achievements.
And the Sportswoman of the Year award goes to the Superwoman, PV Sindhu.
The winner of the Play of the Match award goes to Sunil Chhetri.
But also helps develop future sports stars by giving out scholarships.
The first batch of inductees under the Virat Kohli Foundation Athlete Development Program are
So I think it's about actually being involved in in actually encouraging youngsters, encouraging sport and promoting it.
All the stakeholders have a say in the Indian sports honours. Fans, journalists and sporting legends help identify the nominees and the winners across various categories.
Awards of this nature are what motivates people, and it's very important that sports persons need motivation. It's not only the people who are playing and winning the awards, but these awards actually motivate the youngsters to take up sport.
So come, let's celebrate Indian sports by supporting all the heroes who make our nation proud.
Yes, and the winner is...
Sport has a massive significance in where I am today. If it wasn't for sport, I don't know where I would be in life. So it's just giving back to, you know, the thing that has taught me so much in life.
It's time to conquer. It's time to become champions. It's time to celebrate. It is time for Blue Rising.
Welcome back once again. You're watching Blue Rising. Put your hands together and rise for Satnam Singh. Paji, स्वागत है आपका शो पे. मतलब मजा आ रहा था ये तो देख के, मतलब बैठ गए हम, हाई फाइव थोड़ा बाद में दे देंगे. की तो कहानी और भी कमाल की है ना, क्योंकि एक छोटी सी जगह पल्लो के में जहाँ शायद कोई फैसिलिटी नहीं थी. थोड़ी शुरुआत के बारे में बताएं अपने करियर की.
In my all village farmer, nobody don't know anything sports, basketball, any. I know the cricket everyone know, and basketball nobody know. But that was my dad's, that is my friend, my dad's friend. And he told me, he said, you're really tall. My dad's like 7'3", and the same height and same body. So that's why my dad's friend told me, say, hey, you have to put on your son in basketball games. That's the best is starting in my life. So because my dad's very tall, that's why they say, we go take this guy. Because he's that father's tall, 100% he'll be good tall.
Wow, you were, I think, what was your height? I think I read somewhere you were 5'11" already when you were 9.
Yeah, 5'9", and I was only 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old.
Great man, I'm 5'7", I'm 33. हंसना ये अच्छी बात है. You know, एक बास्केटबॉल स्पोर्ट्स से पूरी इंडिया ਨੂੰ रिप्रेजेंट ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ. ਹੁਣ ਪਹਿਲੇ यूएसए ਚ ਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਚ. ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ?
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਲਈ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਾਰਕੀਟ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਹੈ.
ਜੀ.
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਹਰ ਬੰਦਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਕਰੀਏ.
ਜੀ.
ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਨ ਸੀਗਾ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਡੈਲਸ ਮੈਵਰਿਕਸ ਓਨਰ ਮਾਰਕ ਕਿਊਬਨ. ਔਰ ਉਸਨੇ ਜਦ ਪਿਕ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜੇਕਰ ਮੈਂ ਅੱਜ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪਿਕ ਕਰਦਾ 1.2 billion people will be follow him right now. And they not follow for him, they follow for Dallas Mavericks team. ਔਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਕਾਲਸਟੋਨ ਦੀ ਕੰਪਨੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਈਮੇਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਅੰਕਲ ਕਿ ਸਤਨਾਮ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ.
It's great what he's achieved, where he's reached, लेकिन इसके साथ और बहुत सारे challenge आए होंगे, you know, just for the special needs that he might have had. So just tell us a little more about the program where Satnam features.
ADP again, what we spoke earlier, जो athletes को recognize करके एक छोटे level से उनकी progress monitor करना. Satnam Paji was an exception because he is an exception. I mean, in every sense of the word, he is someone who represented in India. First time in the NBA, which is, you know, a historic event. कि जितना आपको किसी चीज़ के बारे में सुन के लगता है, उसकी reality again, it's like knowing an athlete but not knowing the process. क्योंकि अब वो he's going to the Canadian Basketball League. तो the idea or the process has been to get him game time as well as guaranteed money. You know, otherwise वहाँ पे जाके ना खेलना और कोई you know money भी ना earn करना, वो किसी के लिए भी logical बात नहीं है. तो जितना उनको experience मिलेगा, अगर आपको potential दिखती है और आप फिर भी उनकी मदद नहीं करना चाहते हैं, तो फिर ये तो you know it's a problem of thinking which needs to be solved, because यहाँ पे ऐसे athlete हैं जिन्होंने इंडिया को मैप पे डाला है बास्केटबॉल में, और आप उनको अगर प्रोवाइड नहीं कर सकते हैं तो फिर you know आपको भी लगता है as an athlete कि हम कब तक मेहनत करेंगे उस चीज़ के पीछे, you know, when there's no platform. I think the more people like Satnam and all of us can sit together and explain mindset, have discussions, lay that foundation of India becoming a sporting nation through and through. You know, not just one or two sports dominating, but everyone knowing the importance of having a sports culture.
जो ये देख रहे हैं ना, हमें से बहुत हमेशा जो ये सवाल पूछते हैं, क्यों फंसे हुए हैं हम? ये सतनाम की स्टोरी में छुपा हुआ है, क्यों फंसे हुए हैं हम? चढ़ते सूरज को सलाम करते आ रहे हैं और वहीं पे बात जो है खत्म हो जाती है. And I think that is what needs to change. And even if you can't do anything sitting at home, it's just the way you support the sport that could also make a little bit of a change. It has to start somewhere. And that was the whole idea, Virat, Sunil, Satnam, for this show, Blue Rising. It's not just a show, this is an initiative to take things forward. Ek at least platform where everyone can come together and meet is what started last year. That's Indian Sports Honours. And you just briefly mentioned, we're all set for the second 2.0 Indian Sports Honours. That's on the 16th of February in 2019. The date has already been fixed. At least वहाँ पे Mumbai में जब ये होगा event, all these biggies from different sports and all these youngsters come together. That's the idea of ISET. That's another exciting one. No,
and don't
it's for once Indian Sports Honours and not just a couple of sports.
Yeah, and don't miss out because Virat is coming up with a great performance.
I think it's about time. It's about time that we keep Bollywood away and have at least sports people to perform.
There is no one better who can dance better than him in any Bollywood or anyone. And I'm being honest. Have you seen him dancing?
Yeah.
He's performing.
I don't know. Well,
he's performing.
Please no, my wife dances better than me.
Why don't we let that? Then we can request. Why don't we let the judge decide?
We can request her also.
नहीं.
You started a bit of marketing, haven't you? मतलब marketing.
ये घर का शो थोड़ी ना सारे आ जाओ नाचने हमारे साथ. No, but I think it's going to be an exciting day again.
Yeah.
Last time I was really pleased with, you know, how the show went and what the response was, and also with the Blue Rising thing you mentioned. We don't only want to focus on the athletes, but we want to educate the fans. And how you will educate the fans is by explaining to them the mindset of players. And see, everyone says support us, right? But also I think the fans need to understand the meaning of support.
When you talk about these sporting events, ना ये मेहनत लगती है. Tickets खरीद के जाओ. Complimentary tickets पे मत जाओ. Ticket खरीद के जाओ. Passes बनेंगे. Annual passes. ये पता है, there are so many dots, Virat, that we need to join. कहाँ से शुरू? हम स्कूल से गए थे ना. अगर वहाँ ठीक हो गया, तो ये आते-आते आगे कहाँ तक पहुँच जाएगा. But this has been excellent. And I think we've just taken a very important step in the right direction. Captain Courageous, Captain Fantastic, Superman. Wishing you all the very best for what happens in Canada. साडे कनाडा च ना जड़ा हैगा हम सतनाम भाजी ने रोशन करना. And not in Canada basketball, Canada basketball. Canada. Right. Thank you so much. Yes, it's been great fun. If you liked it, you've got your suggestions. Join in the conversation for once for a good cause on social media. #Blue Rising. Until next time, this is Jatin Sapru saying goodbye. Thank you so much for your company.